Okay. Hey guys, I'm Alana from WinWin.
And I'm Jess from WinWin.
And it is the 2nd of July, 2023. Jess, what the hell? Where's this year going?
I can't believe it. It's insane. I feel like next minute we're going to be planning for Christmas. It's crazy.
You know what? I didn't even put my Christmas tree down. I've still got presents wrapped underneath that thing, so I'm prepared for Christmas. Bring it on. I'm just a bit bummed now they're getting rid of the hot cross buns, but I suppose it's only 6 months till they bring them out again, hey?
Don't worry, all the bloody Halloween decorations and candy will probably be out next week. So
True. Anyway, right, welcome to this edition of Insights. As usual, we're answering all your questions, and we have been getting some really good questions come through lately. Thank you to Sam. We're going to kick it off with this first one. How do couples get the same job, or not the same job? How do couples get a job on the mine site together on the same site, same swing, blah, blah, blah? Jess, do you want to have a go at this one?
okay, so generally our advice that we give you is obviously you can get on the same site and the same swing. You need to figure out who's going to be the most employable. So who's got the trade out of you, who's got the FIFO experience. Generally it's a tradie and someone wanting to get in as a utility or admin. That's generally how it works, who has no experience or no experience at all. So we say the person that's the most skilled, find the job first. Obviously, you both apply for anything and everything. Get onto site, try and get some experience if you can, even if it means not working together or, being together on site for a couple of months. And then once that person is set up somewhere, that's when they get you in. So they are then, giving out your resume, finding contacts, finding out what roles they can get you in as, and they get you in that way. It can be a slow process. It can sometimes take kind of 3 to 6 months, depending on how quickly you get in. But that is the way that we generally say to do it. And it's not going to kill you to not be holding hands.
Maybe with some people, but it also comes down to the job that you're able to get as well. So let's say if you're a tradie or whatever, and you can get like an 8 and 6 roster, but the partner can only get, let's say, utility role, which are all 2 and 1s basically. Then unfortunately, you're gonna have to take what you can get, and you might have to go to a different site. So you might have to see either if you can line up your swings or if you can line up the site that you're going to. But yeah. It's the more limitations that you have, like we both want a 7 and 7. Well, sorry, but you'll be like hard pressed to get a 2 and 1, right? So depending on what background that you come from. So have a long-term plan. It's not just like we'll both walk into it hand in hand, the same site and same roster. Ain't going to happen in a lot of cases. It can, but the more limitations you've got, the harder it's going to be to get in.
Yeah, definitely. I think we had, like you said, we have had a few couples that both of them were dump truck operators, for example. They both were fully skilled, fully trained, have been doing it for a couple of years, and they both went onto the same site together. But that's really out of the ordinary. Don't bet on that happening. If that happens, awesome, good on you. But definitely make that plan and get some plans in place so that you can actually have some communication and stuff, because you'll probably spend some time apart.
Yeah, and that can be a good thing. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, I think, anyway.
FIFO relationship, we are all for them. We bang on about it all the time. We love it. We think it's awesome for your relationship. As long as you communicate clearly and your expectations are clear between each other, it can be the best thing ever.
Yeah, definitely. So don't be afraid to spend some time apart. Obviously, depending on your child situation will have a factor with that one, but like couples do it all the time, so you can do it too. All right, let's go on to the next one about how to get an offshore job. This is basically the exact same as how we say to get any other job, right? The principle is the same. Set yourself up from the start by knowing what job that you want and knowing what qualifications that you have that actually you are going to need to get potentially as well to get that offshore job. So some of the qualifications are the TBOSIET or the CAEBS. Look those up. They're expensive, right? So you need to have a look and see what jobs can you actually get that are relevant to what you have been doing. Of course, then you need your resume to reflect that. If you've got any contacts who can get you in, that's the easiest way to do it, quite frankly. But yeah, the principle is the same every single time. Just know what job that you want. Anything to add on that, Jess?
Just make sure you meet those minimum requirements. If you do need offshore tickets, generally 99% of the time you need at least those 2 basic ones. And sometimes you need offshore rescue, offshore like specific first aid. There's a lot of tickets sometimes with jobs. Like you might think, oh, I'm a sparky, I'm going to go and work offshore. They are always looking for electricians, but it's not that easy. And you really need to check those minimum requirements, make sure you meet them. And then obviously have your resume tailored for that offshore position.
Of course. And of course, you can find all that on the job advertisement. So look onto Seek, look onto Indeed, LinkedIn, whatever it might be. Check out what they need. Make sure you meet that, or else you've got no chance in hell, basically. So yeah, that's that one. I think we've covered that. All right, let's go into a couple of the resume questions that we get. Do you need to put your exact address? Oh, sorry, I had a brain freeze. On your resume and cover letter?
Yes, you do.
I'll say it's a yes and no, right? Like some people are like, oh, I'm freaking out. I don't want people to know what my full address is. Like, what? Why? Like, you know, what's going on there? But yeah, go on, Jess. Sorry.
I think you can, in some instances, like when we're saying to people, we talk about the point of hire a lot. If you live in Queensland, but you live in North Queensland and you're applying for a job, you know, down in near another state or in another state, maybe just put Queensland. Don't put your full address. I think it's quite a loaded question. It's depending on what you're going for and how close you live to that point of hire of the job you're applying for. Obviously, if your address is within a 50K radius, awesome, chuck it in there. But if not, maybe just put the state. That's something we can help you with. We've got loads of videos about that on our YouTube or in our page as well. Or if you need help with that, figuring that out, we can definitely help. What are the benefits of having your full address on there, Alana?
Yeah, well, basically, it just depends on what job that you're going for, exactly like what you're saying, right? So the detriment can be, and this is what we get a lot, I'm in Melbourne, I want to get a job in WA. Okay, quite frankly, with the point of hire, you're going to get filtered out every single time because the point of hire is obviously the state and the location in which the employer is going to hire you from. Because just think, delayed flights, all that sort of stuff, right? It can be detrimental. But there can be a few factors when it actually doesn't matter, such as depending on what trade that you're in. Some companies will fly you and they'll specifically say on the advertisement, we don't care where you are. We need anyone with a pulse who can do this job, like a driller's offsider role. So we'll fly you from South Australia, WA, Queensland, whatever, come over and we'll give you a job, right? So that can be when I would say that it's not going to matter. But if you're trying to get an entry-level job, especially like, let's say, driller's offsider, not driller's offsider role, that's one of the ones that you can apply from anywhere in Australia. But let's say if you're going for a dump truck traineeship in Western Australia and you're in Victoria, point of hire, you're going to get filtered out. And the main reason is because there are a squillion people in Western Australia that are actually going for those jobs and they meet the minimum criteria, and there's not that potential for them to miss a flight, or there is, but you know, it's less than if you're in another state. So I say it depends on your exact situation, but yeah, just keep that point of hire situation in mind. Yeah, and I just want to say something as well, right? If you are like even contemplating getting into the mining industry, you need to do it right now. In fact, no, you needed to do it 2 years ago when the borders were shut, right? I don't know whether you've noticed, but there is an influx of people coming in worldwide at the moment. The government has just put out that there are going to be 700,000 people immigrating to Australia next year. We're getting calls from all around the world. And we are literally like calls and emails and Zooms and all that sort of stuff about how do I get an entry-level job. Some of these people coming over are more qualified than people who are wanting to try to get entry-level jobs right now. So the time is now. If you're in this country and you're wanting to get into the industry, do not hesitate. Do it now, because I can tell you right now, next year it's going to get harder. The housing situation, don't even really want to go into that nightmare, but it's going to be a challenge. So yeah, just make sure that you set yourself up so you can get in right now, or contact us, info@whingeing.com.au. We'll get you in. All right, let's go into the next resume question. So we've got one here on cover letters, right? Should I address my cover letter to every single employer? Yes, go on.
No, you don't need. We love to whom you may concern, and that's totally fine. You do not need to address them by name. You do not need to address the company. Obviously, if you want to, you can go into a bit more depth and talk about the company, especially for a traineeship. That can be quite important. We can help you with that if you need help with cover letters. But no, you don't. You definitely don't.
Agreed. We've got so many people who come to us and they're like, I want to apply for a driller's offsider, a utility, traineeships, whatever. If you're addressing that to every specific company, you're going to need 20, 30, 40 different cover letters. The whole objective of the person who should be writing your cover letter properly is to make it specific yet generic enough so that you can actually send it out to multiple jobs. The exception to the rule, I believe, is if you, let's say if you've got a mate who works for FMG, and he said, address it to this exact person, then that is when you address it to that exact person. But otherwise, a generic enough cover letter should cover any sort of applications that you're actually wanting to apply for.
Like,
all right, great. Let's go into profile pictures on resumes. Should you put your profile picture on a resume, Jess?
oh, you should not. And there's a couple of reasons for it. No one cares what you look like. You could be hot at. Like, really? Okay, like, yeah, we might push you through if you're a cute girl or a cute guy, you know, but it's more likely if you're friendly and if you actually have what we need in the resume. Not to mention that no one really needs to know what you look like in this process, but it also can get your resume filtered out through an ATS system. Sometimes they will flag any images and just spit your resume out. So it could actually be doing you a disservice when you think that it's not. And we have this question asked all the time because we have so many resumes come in with photos, and they're great photos. There's nothing wrong with them. For another type of job, it could work, but within that mining ATS systems, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it used to be a good thing so you can kind of get an idea about what the personality might be of that person, because, you know, first impressions count. And so you could go, oh, yeah, that person looks all right, like that fit in with the team, et cetera, et cetera. But employers can actually, like, what's that word? Oh, brain not working. Discriminate against people based upon that profile picture. It's the same thing. Should I have my birthday on your resume? Hell no. Do you want to, if your birthday's in 1948, do you want to be discriminated against? No, right? And it's an unwritten rule. It's not going to be like somebody will out there, like, you know, a recruiter or hiring manager would say, sorry, you're too old. But
yeah,
they might be able to process that that scenario that way and actually say, all right, look, we've got a 25-year-old versus an 80-year-old. Who do we take? So yeah, definitely not. And again, ATS systems, they filter logos, graphics, font sizes, too many different fonts, boxes, all this sort of stuff, pictures. So, and also columns. If you've got multiple columns, especially of information, and you're getting filtered out or you're getting nowhere fast when you're submitting your resume, that can be why. So yeah. Anyway, so that's a good one. Anything else to add on that one, Jess?
No, I think that's it. I think that's it.
Yeah, definitely. So, all right, here's a question we get asked all the time, and I would love to elaborate on this one if you are cool with that, Jess. Righto, we get, what is the 100% guarantee that I'm gonna get a dump truck operator role if I pay you guys the money to do my resume? All right, this is a conversation I had about 5 times over the past week or so, and what I like to say to people is, if I go out and buy a nice, shiny, brand new red Ram, which I'm dreaming about buying for $110,000, what's the 100% guarantee that that vehicle is going to get me home at night? Okay, well, let's put it down this way. If I don't have a driver's license, well, it doesn't matter how much I pay, it's probably not going to get where I want to go, right? If I can't drive, it ain't going to get me home, right? If there's no fuel in it, it's not going to get me home. So the resume is a tool, right? We don't give you a guarantee because what we do, we know works and it can get through the applicant tracking systems. But what you do with it afterwards is going to make and or break your career. And that's going to be the guarantee there. Like, we can send it off and we know that it's good to go. And this has happened multiple times before. But then if you have 20,000 resumes in your Seek profile and you're sending the wrong one off, or if you bomb the medical or you bomb the interview, sorry, but the resume did its job, but you've bombed it out. So, you know, we don't give a guarantee. Well, the guarantee we give you, actually, I take that back. We'll just backpedal on that one. The guarantee we give you is that resume is split tested to get through applicant tracking systems. Full stop, right? And that's why we've got our different packages that our packages are based upon how much hand holding that you're going to need. If you need a lot of hand holding, then that's where we've got the Job Jump Starter package where we actually do it for you. We do a lot of that. We help you with applications. We help you with getting prepared for the interview. We help you by, you know, like helping you to connect with the right employer who's actually hiring for the job that you want. So what's our guarantee? Like I just said, the resume will do what it's meant to do. And then you need to do what you're meant to do. Anything to add on that, Jess?
And if that sounds scary, like, oh my goodness, I've got this new, I'm going to pay and get this new resume, and then I'm just out there in the cold by myself. No, we give you really clear instructions, video instructions, and email instructions on what you need to do next to get that job of your dreams and to get to that interview stage. So you're not left out in the dark just holding the resume and not knowing what to do. We give you really clear instructions, and if you follow those instructions, you will get a job. We have people, it happens every single week, day in, day out, where we have people call and say, oh my God, amazing, I've been applying for months, and now I've been applying with your resume, making all my follow-up phone calls, doing everything you said, and now I've got like 3 or 4 interviews lined up, or I've got a job, I fly to site next week. It happens daily. And it can just have to really follow those instructions and trust that we know what we're doing. There's a method behind every madness that we implement in those steps for you.
Definitely. When we say hand holding, we mean hand holding. We literally do videos. We've got tutorials on our YouTube channel of how to do things, right? We want you to be successful because the business has grown out of nothing, and the only reason why it exists because of success that you get. Like as a candidate, we wouldn't be here if we weren't good at what we do, right? And what we do helps you to get where you want to go. So that's the whole objective of the business and the resume. So pay us, and then we do what we do, and then we're going to basically push you gently into the water so that you can't lead a horse to water. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. We'll gently push you in. So yeah, with that resume. Anyway, I want to talk about, in fact, Jess, tell us about mining tickets, right? Can you elaborate on if I get every mining ticket under the sun, including loader, dozer, grader, blah, 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 articulated dump truck, confined space, working at heights, EWP, will that guarantee that I'll get an operator role?
No, it won't, because you don't actually have any experience. So you can set all the tickets in the world, and you could be a trade assistant, or you could be an administration officer, you could be something completely random and just go out and do all of these tickets. Unless you know someone that's going to get you in and get you a job, that's probably the only time that's ever going to make any difference. The only license that we recommend that you do if you're going to do any is your HR. That's the one that you need. You'll use it. It's really awesome and handy to have and good experience. But all those other tickets are really, honestly, a waste of money. There is no point in wasting your money on them, because all of that equipment, if once you get in, even as a trade assistant or a driller's offsider or something else, generally they will pass you out or VOC you to use that machinery anyway. So those tickets are kind of null and void in mining.
Yeah, definitely. There are some sites where they want them, but the majority of sites, they don't care. And right, if you're contemplating going and getting an articulated dump truck or a Moxie ticket over an HR license, you're insane. Please don't do that. Those Moxie tickets aren't worth the bloody bit of paper, or plastic, should I say, that they're written on most of the time. An HR driver's license will open you up to way more jobs than, let's say, a bloody Moxie ticket. So if you're going to spend that money, which yes, it is an investment and it is a tax deduction, go for it, but actually at least be strategic in your approach, right? If you're going for an operator role, you might not need working at heights, gas tests, atmospheres, confined space, all that sort of stuff, all right? You might need potentially some of the operating tickets, most likely not. And let's say if you come from a retail background and a registered training organization says to you, if you got an excavator ticket, you'll walk into an excavator role paying $180,000 a year. That is bullshit. Please don't listen to that. Their business is selling you tickets. It's not necessarily giving a shit what happens to you after you've paid them the money, and then you go off and you're like, why can't I get a 2-and-2 excavator operator, experienced operator role? Doesn't happen. Like, seriously, does not happen. Okay, that's enough of that rant. That's like my most annoying rant that we have to do all the time, like weekly. Anyway, let's go on to another annoying rant about how you're conducting yourself on social media. A client came to us. We had done her resume up, right? It was good to go. She was good to go. She actually even got a water cart job in town. And then next minute, we're seeing her in all these different Facebook groups slamming her last employer, like with using her actual real name. People, I just want to say this right now. If you're going to be doing that, you're an idiot, full stop. And I stand by that, because employers, especially these Facebook groups, there are a ton of employers in there. They are looking at how you conduct yourself. And if you then are the same person who's applying for one of their roles, what do you think they're going to do? Do you think they really want to hire you? Hell no. Just take it. I like having a conniption.
It's so And we see it all the time, especially in all the mining groups. We honestly don't usually approve these posts in our group just for that reason. It's just not a good look. And we don't want to encourage that behavior. It's really like whinge to your friends, whinge in a private messenger group, whinge to whoever you want, but don't whinge on social media, especially not about specific employers and specific supervisors.
Yeah.
Look, it's not America yet, but it's heading that way. And there are people that have had class actions held against them and actually, you know, been threatened with legal action for like dropping names of the bigger companies, especially. And there's just no need for it. It's really petty. No one likes it. It's not a good look. And as a recruiter, if you saw someone carrying on about that, you'd kind of unofficially blacklist them because you wouldn't want to deal with the drama.
Definitely. And companies do have internal blacklists, right? There's not some big over like, you know, seeing like blacklist anymore like ERMs. Now it comes down to companies can actually flag you and say, that's the same person that was name dropping their last supervisor saying that they were doing this, this, and this for this exact company on this exact site. Do we want that person? Hell no. So yeah, seriously, if you're going to be doing dumb shit, maybe unscrupulous activities, should I say, on social media, at least do an anonymous post, change your name, make your profile like private. Like there are so many things that you can do. It just comes down to using this thing between your ears.
Yeah, no. It's not a good look. And the other post that we don't approve for anyone, is people doing inductions and stuff and asking for the answers to questions and interviews and things like that. That's also not a good look. This industry is really small. WA is like a big country town. Everyone knows everybody. And if we have recruiters call from any of the companies and ask about someone and we see posts like that around or see comments like that, we're 100% going to tell people. Like everyone does it. Really small industry. So just remember, just conduct yourself really professionally. Like just every time you post something or write a comment, just think, is my future employer going to see this? Just always think that before you post.
Yeah, because that could be the exact reason why you're getting knocked back for jobs, especially if you meet the criteria and like you're good to go, but then you're off like on every bloody mining page underneath the sun, just basically giving it to your last employer. Not a good look. So anyway, that's it for this week, Jess. Are there any random questions that you've come across that we should add to this list today?
I don't think so. I don't think so. No, I don't think I've got anything. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you to everybody who did send in those questions. Sam, the rest. Oh, sorry. Sorry if I got your name. Okay, sorry about that. And thank you. If you've got any questions, email them to us at info@whinwin.com.au. Remember, it's a number 1 instead of an I. And of course, subscribe to this channel, share it with your mates. And if you've got any questions, you can actually drop them in the comment section below or comment on anything that we have spoken about, and we will actually respond to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Alana.
Thanks, Jess. Thanks, guys. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
See ya.